Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 4 of my iPhone 14 Pro
8:31
Max
PM.
challenge. It's going to be 14 days. In case you don't know, I'm definitely I've been an Android user for a long time, and I've had an iPhone for accessibility testing and things like that, and to make videos about accessibility, and just for FaceTime and iMessage and things like that. But for the next 14 days, or well, it's only like 10 days left now, I'll be using the iPhone as my daily driver. So, like my primary phone with voiceover and Zoom. And so I have been making a video or a live stream for the past few days. When I did not get to day one because I just didn't have time for it, but I want to try to definitely make sure that I do it for every day besides that, and kind of give you an inside look and an authentic, genuine look at an Android user switching to an iPhone. And I think it can be very frustrating going from an iPhone to an Android or from an Android to an iPhone because you're so used to what you know and what you've been using. And that's kind of where I am right now. It's a little bit frustrating. It's a little bit challenging, but I'm getting through it. And I finally did yesterday. I started on a live stream by setting up my iPhone because there were just so many apps and everything was just on the screen on the home pages, and it was driving me nuts. And I had to keep using Siri to find anything that I need. So now I have it more organized, and that was an interesting thing. But today, I really want to hear from all of you guys, whether you're watching this live or you're watching this on the replay. I would just really love it if you would comment down below or in the live stream um, some of your favorite iPhone tips and tricks, maybe apps, anything like voiceover settings or accessibility settings that you guys really enjoy. Right now, I've today I was looking through all the different voiceover gestures and all the different commands. I'm planning to try out the activities and see, how I can kind of use those. I did try voiceover recognition, screen recognition, like text recognition, um, which I am finding that one of those recognitions, not the text one, I assume, but it's giving me too much information that I don't necessarily want. I remember I was going through settings and it was trying to describe like a night sky or something. And I'm like, I'm just looking through my settings. I don't even see anything visually that's like a night sky. So that's a little bit confusing. And I think the AI is just trying a little bit too hard. So I would really love it to get your take if you are an iPhone user. Like what what do you think could help me on my iPhone journey? One thing I really like about iPhone, like when I have voiceover on, if I put my face close to the screen, it goes to the phone speaker, the phone, like the earpiece, whatever it's called. And then when I move it away, it's on speaker. And I just really like that when I'm using voiceover. For some reason, it doesn't do it when I'm not using voiceover. And I wish there might be a setting for that. So if you know if there's a setting for that, let me know and tell me where it's at, because I was trying to look for it and I wasn't able to find it. There also seems to be this thing where Android has this too, where you press the lock side button and it ends the call sometimes. And I think it's because, like, if you have the call screen up, if you press the side key, it hangs up. And then if you're like away from that and you lock the screen, it doesn't hang up. So I'm really confused at that. And how do I turn that off? Because I tried to use that on Android, and just compulsively lock my phone all the time. And so I keep hanging up on people. So that setting just needs to turn off. Let me go ahead and look at the chat and see what y'all saying, because I see that there are some people in here. So let's see. Um, there's Blind Stitches Creations. Hey Carrie, what's up? Hey, it's been a while since I've seen you around. I hope you're doing good. Sean, yes, the Switch can be challenging. People try to make the iPhone the perfect blind person or visually impaired person's phone, and that's just not the case. And, you know, I think the perfect phone is the one that you like better. That's my ingenious conclusion from everything. Um, there's a reason why I do not use either VoiceOver or TalkBack. Once you've learned to use it, the Norway TalkBacks or VoiceOver seems like a hindrance. So I'm guessing the Norway one just doesn't work very well. This is so cool. I haven't gone live yet for my channel either, and I would love to hear everybody's tips and tricks. I'm fully blind. And Mike Wheeler says, I really enjoyed the rotor feature over the Android version. Select to speak is your friend. Okay, so, and yes, I'm doing good. Okay, I'm glad you're doing good. So that's really interesting. I think this is definitely a preference thing. I find it easier. Well, honestly, I don't really care all that much whether it's the rotor or the three finger swipe up and down. Three finger swiping up and down and the rotor, it really doesn't matter to me. Like, I hear a lot of people with like a specific preference with the rotor or whichever. And I mean, for me, that's one of the things that I don't really mind either way. Now, I have come to the conclusion that iPhone just makes you choose which experience you want, whether a great Zoom experience or a well, sort of good Zoom experience or a great voiceover experience. And if you make your font size large, well, stop using voiceover because it's just so buggy. And that's really upsetting to me as somebody who's like a hybrid user. I want to be able to use both, and they just do not play nicely to each other. Like if one doesn't break, the other one breaks, and it's just super buggy. And I would just love if both of them work together. I find myself using voiceover a lot more on the iPhone because everything's smaller, like I've said till I'm blue in the face and all my other videos. I found out today too that my iPad Pro doesn't have an option for um, the Zoom display, which I mean, I knew that part, but my cousin who has an iPad Pro, but she has the 12-inch, there's an option for a Zoom display. And if the iPhone has it, well, then why can't every iPad have it? Like, I also had an iPad mini for a little while until that was just terribly super, super small. And so my mom kind of took that iPad. And if anything were to have a Zoom display, it should be the iPad. I don't understand that. But yeah, it's just a little bit frustrating. I do have Seeing AI on my phone. Yeah, on my phone. And I also have SuperSense. Um, let's see. I'm just so happy that I actually have just one homepage on my screen, because before I had like 5 homepages, and that was driving me. That was just making me a little bit crazy. So let's see. I have an accessibility folder.
Oh, Brian. Voice allowed reader.
Okay, voice aloud reader. I'm not sure. I haven't played with that. Speechify, Seeing AI, Super Sense. Oh, that's for beta testing. Okay, and Clue. Okay, yeah. So if you have any app recommendations or settings recommendations for either iOS, I mean for I've just iOS in general or VoiceOver or Zoom, like if there's something that I have to turn off or turn on that doesn't work well together or something, yeah, please just let me know because your girl is struggling here. um, but one thing that I do like, so this is like a love-hate relationship. I have a love-hate relationship with the Zoom controller. I hate that it's a floating icon because this thing just I have to move it around so much. And like in theory, when you open the keyboard, the Zoom controller is supposed to move, but it doesn't. It doesn't always move. And I have to like move it away from the keyboard and move it up. And then um when I'm done with the keyboard, like it's too high on the screen for me to easily just use my thumb to like move around. So I have to move it back down. So in theory, it's great, like if it just moved up and down, but in practice, in real life, it just doesn't always work, which is just frustrating for floating icons in general. Like any floating icon, it's like you have to just move it around all the time. But what I do really like that is not like Android is the fact that you can like hold down that Zoom controller. The other thing is like it's hard to see even if you have it full with zero transparency. Like you don't have to, but you don't have to move your thumb all that much to reach every part of the screen and be able to pan around. And like for Android, you have something very similar where you triple tap and hold, but you have to move your finger all the way across the screen. And so I feel like Zoom, you can use one handed versus like on an Android. Whereas voiceover, it's always like I have to use two hands because all the gestures are very two-handed. Whereas talkback, you can use one hand. So can we just like have like the one-handed operability of talkback and like the one-handed like operability of Zoom or magnification? And like I always tell everybody, can we just merge the good parts of iOS and Android and smush them together and just have like a really great phone? That's what I wish. That's my wish. See. Okay, Joshua is in here saying hello. Mike Wheeler, settings, accessibility, touch, prevent to end call. Okay, prevent to end call. So I guess by default, the lock screen closes the or turns off the hangs up. Is that by default? Is that for everybody? What is Clue? Blind Stitch's creation is asking what is Clue. Oh, Clue, the app Clue. Okay. So it's actually a really neat app that's not available on Android. And it's really nice. You can actually use it to map out indoor locations. And it uses the camera and AI technology to like help you retrace your route. So
Media folder, 10 apps, 8 new items, accessibility folder, 10 apps,
I can't really do a demo because you kind of have to walk around. But when you get there,
a green and white record a single use route. Button.
You can record a single. Oh, what's it saying?
On a scale, on a scale of 1 to 5. Please tell us why.
Okay, how do I skip this?
Submit button.
Okay, so I took off or I'm not using the 2-finger scrub for back. I ended up setting it up for a 4-finger swipe down because it's easier for me and it seems to work better with VoiceOver, at least for me. All the other 4-finger like gestures though, I cannot get to work. It just registers as a 3-finger like thing, and I think that's because of like the Zoom controller or Zoom or something. But anyway, clue.
Record a single use route.
You
Button.
can
A
do
green and white sign with black text.
be
Single use
quiet.
route.
A single use route. So let's say, I don't know, you're going from one place to another, like to the doctor. Somebody helps you go from like the 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 front desk to the office, right? Or to the specific room. And then you could like map out the location with your camera. And then you can like retrace your steps and it'll tell you how to get back to where you came from. You can also
Save a route.
do
Button. A green and white sign with black text. Save route.
save a route. So that will basically you're mapping out like a specific route. And then you can go do the same route again or go backwards. It's more for indoor navigation and it doesn't really work that well for outside. It doesn't have GPS, though they are like trying to develop like a kind of I think it's called Clue Maps where it does use GPS. And this is something like ideally it would be great if these routes could be shared, so that like if I make a route from like the sidewalk to this specific store in their door, like I could share that with other people and they'll be able to use that, or from like the front door of a restaurant to like the bathroom or something like that. I don't know. um that's kind of like what they envision, and then they're working on a lot of other projects too, which is pretty cool, and all using AI technology. And usually in the summer, they have what is it called? Like these focus groups where if you sign up, you could apply to be one of their kind of like testers. And so that's what I did in the summer, and it was really cool, and it was really nice to work with some of the students and trying to like develop the app. So yeah, you can try it out, and it's spelled CLEW. There's a few of them, like there's Clue Maps and Clue something else. So you just want to look for the one that just says Clue. So Mike says, what I put above was how to turn off the hang up feature. Okay, so that'd be great. I'm definitely going to turn that off. If you would like to familiarize yourself with the different gestures, do a 4-finger double tap. So I just ended up looking at all the commands in the list because that was more helpful to me. I could not get the 4-finger double tap to work. I will try right now though, because
8:49 p.m.
Let's see. I'm gonna go to my home page.
Closing accessibility folder.
Okay.
D-block 20,
4.
20, 49.
Okay, see, it just activates Zoom. 4-finger.
20, 49.
I cannot get 4-finger
49.
double tap to work. Like I tried multiple fingers. Okay. Let me stop that.
64% battery power. Not charging. Status bar
Let
item.
me try.
Swipe down with 3-finger D-block. 20,
Nope.
50.
I think I don't know if it's because I'm using VoiceOver and Zoom, or if it's because I have the Zoom controller, but the 4-finger double tap doesn't work. And like the 4-finger, was it a triple tap? Was there a triple tap? I don't know. Maybe
Speech
not.
off.
But oh wait,
Speech on.
I was able to get the 4-finger swipe down, and I didn't try the swipe up, but if the swipe down works, I'm sure the swipe up works. But I have to be very, very forceful with it. So I like put all my fingers like in a row, and I hold the phone in a specific way, and I swipe down. And it seems to work better than the scrub for me. So that's what I use for escape. And when you're done familiarizing yourself with the 4-finger, what? Oh, do another 4-finger tap, and it will take you out of the help section. That may have to do with Zoom then. Yeah. So that's the thing. That's like my
Accessibility folder. 10
problem. Like VoiceOver seems to just not work well with Zoom, whereas like on Android, you can most of the time, unless you're using Lens, which Definitely, it sucks if you're using lens and don't use lens magnification. Um, but if you're using full screen magnification on Android, you can use TalkBack and they work. They work pretty well together. So yeah. Again, if there's any other apps or accessibility settings that you guys really enjoy, I would really love it if you could share those with me in the comments or even live. And yeah, this is day 4. I think that I'm starting to kind of get used to it. There's certain bugs and you kind of get used to going around those bugs. I mean, I think it happens on whatever operating system you're using. And I just honestly, like, I'm getting more used to it, but I'm also very convinced that I'm gonna be so happy going back to Android. There's some great parts about iOS. I love the mute switch. That's another thing. Like, why don't Android phones have a mute switch? Like, that's a huge thing. I think that every phone should have a nice little easy tactile mute switch.
Unmuted. Unmuted.
Okay, but there is a bug there. There's a voiceover bug. Like I'm gonna do it again.
Unmuted. Unmuted.
Okay. It just says unmuted, unmuted. Like sometimes it'll tell me it's muted and unmuted, and sometimes it'll just tell me one thing. Usually unmuted, unmuted, unmuted. I'm like, come on. So I had to like memorize which direction is like muted and which one is normal, but which like I can work around, but it's really annoying. Come on, Apple, you can do better. That's like it feels like such an easy fix. But who am I? I'm not like a developer, so maybe that's a really hard fix. I don't know. Let's see. Larry. When I use VoiceOver on my iPhone, I don't use Zoom with it. I don't Zoom. I cannot read, guys. Okay. My iPhone. I don't use Zoom with it. Zoom magnifier? I'm not sure what you mean. Joshua, I love audio descriptions. And then Mike Wheeler. Okay, that's weird. I just turned on my Zoom and my four-finger double tap. Okay, so it's probably the Zoom controller. And I mean, we could just literally just experiment right now.
8:54 p.m.
Zoom controls. Go to the Zoom controller.
Double tap.
And
Deep lock 20. Zoom controls. Double tap to show Zoom menu. Quadruple tap to toggle Zoom control.
Double tap.
Zoom menu. Hide
We're
controller.
gonna hide
Zoom
the
level.
controller.
Hide controller. Show controller.
Okay.
Zoom
and now
menu.
let me try the four-finger double tap.
Zoom deep lock 20. 54.
No. Okay. No. Okay, we're gonna do one more experiment.
Settings. 2 new app. iCloud. Apple. Get help during an Apple. AirPlay. Wi-Fi. Bluetooth. Cellular. Personal. Notification. Sounds and haptics. Button.
Open accessibility settings.
Set sounds and app notifications button.
Why didn't it open
Focus button.
Okay.
Screen time. General. Control center. Display and home screen. Accessibility button.
Okay.
Vision. Heading.
Let's see.
Zoom on button. Display and text size. Motion. Display and text
Display
size.
and text
Bold text. Larger
size.
text on button. Button shapes on slash off. Reduce trans.
Oh wait, larger
Larger
text.
text on button. Bold text on.
We're
Larger
gonna
text.
turn
on.
off.
Larger accessibility. Apps that support
Okay.
dynamic type will adjust to your preferred reading. Magnifier.
Okay, now let me try.
Group. Magnifier. Row 1. Column 3. Center of screen. Double tap to open.
Four-finger double
dock,
tap.
Dock. Safari. In dock. Dock.
Or
Safari.
is it-
In dock. Position. Safari. Safari.
I don't know. 1, 2, 3.
Zoom disabled.
Okay, let's try with Zoom off.
Starting help. To stop help.
Okay.
Perform a four-finger double tap or two-finger
So I
scrub.
turned
Or
off
press the space button.
Zoom and the double tap works. Four-finger double tap works. So let me try to turn on Zoom now.
Zoom enabled.
Okay.
Deep lock 20.
So we're going to try
54.
again.
Deep Safari. Dot. Starting help. To stop help. Perform
Okay.
a four-finger double tap or two-finger scrub.
So
Or
it took
press
me
escape on the
about,
keyboard.
I don't know, 4 tries to do that.
Two-finger swipe down.
Okay,
Read all.
let me try again.
Move to last item. Four-finger double tap. Start help. Stopping help.
Okay, so it's super hard to come up
Home.
for it
Declock.
to come up.
20.
Now,
54.
this is the test. We're gonna try to turn on the Zoom controller. Except I have to turn off VoiceOver.
VoiceOver
So
off.
to bring that's another thing. I have to turn off VoiceOver to bring up the Zoom menu, and I haven't been able to figure out how I can turn to open the Zoom menu while VoiceOver is on. Um, so when you have Zoom on, you can do a what is it? Three-finger triple tap to open the Zoom menu. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Which one is show controller? I think it's this one. Show control. Okay, where's the controller? Cannot find the controller. Okay, there we go. Now we got it. I turned on Zoom
VoiceOver
and the
on.
controller.
Declock. 20. 54.
And now we're going to try the 4-finger double tap again.
Magnifier. Double tap to open. Declock. 20. 54.
This is third try.
Declock. System font regular. Starting help. To stop help.
Okay.
Perform a 4-finger double tap
So
or
that
2-finger
took
scrub,
me about
or press
5
escape on the
tries that
keyboard.
time.
450. Declock. System font regular. Declock. System font regular.
What do I
78
have
Center
to do?
justified. Top of
Is
screen.
it really hard? I don't know what to do. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to lock.
8:57 p.m.
Okay.
Passcode field. 0 of 4 values entered.
Oh,
Secure text. Passcode field.
see.
0 of 4 values
There you
entered. Declock. 20.
We're going to turn off Zoom, and then I have to go back
Apps.
and
Settings. Active.
turn
Settings.
on the
Larger
larger
accessibility sizes.
sizes. Okay.
Larger accessibility. 55%. 64%. 73%. 64%. 73%.
It's also really disappointing to
Settings.
me
2 new items.
how
20.
many
58.
like apps don't support the higher accessibility sizes. It's really disappointing. Like on Android, you can definitely magnify a lot more, like, and have the
Speeding.
apps have larger font sizes, a lot more than iPhone. I just feel like it's nice. iPhone's okay. I mean, I don't hate it. I get mad. I definitely get mad at it, but and I can see why there's a lot of people who like it. But I guess I just really like Android so that I can use both things at the same time. Um, I just don't feel like I should have to choose. Okay. Larry says, I'm sorry I don't use Zoom magnification with VoiceOver screen reader. Sorry about that. I do use voice control. Yes, I remember you do use voice control. You're here. Okay. Mike, I do believe you can add Zoom to your control panel. I have Zoom set to my back tap, triple tap back tap, and I find that the triple tap back tap works better than the double tap back tap. Um, I have the double tap back tap set to magnifier, and it's so hard for me to get that to work all the time consistently. So I had to add magnifier to my home screen because I just got frustrated, like double tapping and double tapping and double tapping the back of my phone. It just didn't work very well. It's like I feel like the iPhone, the sensitivity is lower than Android, and so it's harder to make it do it. Whereas like the Android back tap or the Pixel back tap, it's a little bit too sensitive and like happens a lot more like by accident. It's like I don't know. I guess it's hard to get it just right. All right, but that is my day 4. It's kind of getting a little bit better. Kind of, I guess I'm just resigned to all the bugs and just trying to work around it. Have I tried voice control on the iPhone yet? I've tried it in the past. I haven't tried it these past few days. Okay. So Toast is saying, I can say it. We know you don't like iOS because you're an Android fangirl. No, I would say that I'm a technology fangirl. I like technology. And so iOS, it's a piece of technology and I like it. I mean, that's why I have an iPhone and that's also why I have an iPad. Oops, sorry, I hit the microphone. I have an iPad. I also struggle with the iPad for the same reasons, for like the font and the everything being really small. But I still like it. I do like iOS. It's fine. It's great. I like Android better. I like using Android better, but I wouldn't say I don't like iOS. I was watching I like the iPad. I got the 11-inch iPad Pro. And I watched what did I watch yesterday? I watched Sleeping Beauty on Disney Plus, and I love that I didn't have to pick the audio description option like within Disney. It just knew that that's what I wanted because I had the audio description checkbox in the accessibility settings. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Thanks everybody for coming again. If y'all think of any other accessibility settings and other apps that you really enjoy using on iPhone, please let me know. I would really love it. Also, I know there's probably going to be a lot less people watching this, but
9:02 p.m.
the clock,
Clock,
a
21.
clock widget. I've just asked, does anybody know a nice clock widget for iOS that can be bigger than declock? Because I would very much appreciate it. I mean, it's declock can be pretty big, um, but I just really miss my Android. I mean, look, this is my iPad. My iPad. This is my really old S22. No, I cannot see all these names. I don't know why manufacturers have to like use crazy names or like all these numbers, but this is my Samsung Tab S2, and like I just love DigiClock widget because look, it's like half my screen, the font, the clock. And it's just so nice. I don't have to like put it super close to my face like everything else. And if I just want to see the time, it's so convenient. But anyway, thanks everybody for watching, and I will be back with you tomorrow on day 5. My goal is to finish playing around with VoiceOver and try out the activities. Yeah, one other thing, magnifier. I keep like trying to stop the stream and then I think of something else. But magnifier on iPhone, it's nice to have. I like the magnifier. I still like WeZoom, but I like the magnifier because of a few things. You can take multiple photos, and that's something that I really like. There still needs to be a way to like export all of those pictures. That would be really wonderful. Apple, please can add that to magnifier on iOS. But just being able to like take a whole bunch of freeze frames and like go through those. So for me as like a homeschooling mom, it's really nice to like take pictures of each page that I need to read with my son and then like put the book down. Whereas like with WeZoom, I have to take a picture and then freeze it, look at that page, then unfreeze it, take another freeze frame, like for each page. So it's really convenient for iPhone and the iPhone magnifier. So that's something that I really do like. Smart invert. Oh, I keep thinking about all these things. Smart invert. Oh, dark theme on iOS is like kind of worse than Android in some ways, better than Android in other ways. Um, One thing is if somebody could tell me how to make all of mail in dark theme, that would be great. I will show you what I mean.
9:05 p.m.
On mail,
Mail. No one ready. Mail. No one.
when I actually look through the inbox, this is all in dark mode. But then
Messages. You're in each page of refreshing page 1 of 530. Affirm. 10 days.
affirm,
Deals start
okay?
today.
This is just like a
7:33 p.m.
random
Get the app for daily
email.
deals like this.
We're
Today.
gonna double
Selected.
tap there.
Message content.
So like all the client information, like the email client information, where it has like all the time it's sent and like or received and who it's from and everything, that's in dark mode. But then the actual email doesn't convert to dark mode.
Message content. Can see images.
Like it's the message content that doesn't go into dark mode. And like for Gmail, it just automatically does that for you. Um, but I also don't want to use Gmail because Gmail doesn't use the accessibility text sizing on iOS where it does it for Android. So if there's an option to make that dark mode,
Click
it
here.
would make using Mail a lot easier.
App switcher.
Another
Active.
thing that I need to really get used
Media
to
folder. 10 apps. 18
is the
items.
home swipe. Okay. Like on Android, it's just so easy to go like an up left or, two finger swipe up from the bottom. This is like VoiceOver doesn't like when I do this
Edit mode.
swipe too fast. I have to do it fair, just the way it wants me to.
63% battery power. Not
Like
charging. Status bar item.
I can't just
Swipe
like
down with 3 fingers to
swipe
reveal
up.
notifications.
Like
Swipe
I
up with 3
have to
fingers to reveal the control
touch
center. Double tap
and
to scroll
then
to
swipe up,
dock.
which
FaceTime.
like I just have to train myself to do that. It's just another half a second, I know. So I probably shouldn't complain, but it is just another thing to get used to. But anyway, thanks again, everybody, for watching, and I will see you on day 5. Take care, everybody. If I can figure out how to. Oh, there we go.